This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual Purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. May God be with you all.
At that time, it was Khabib time, now Charles time.
Islam Makhachev looks to end his business at UFC 294 against Charles Oliveira for good. Islam Makhachev, lightweight champ, Khabib's prodigy, 24-1, looks for his second title defense against Charlie Olive's 34-9. Oliveira holds multiple UFC records, notably the most submission wins in UFC history at 16, most finishes at 20, and most bonuses at 19. We have a lot to get into, so before we do, please leave a like, comment who you think will win, and subscribe for more content like this. Now let's get into it. After rewatching the first fight between Islam and Oliveira, there were many times where Oliveira wasn't necessarily doing as bad as people think he was. And yes, Oliveira got dropped by Islam after he attempted a flying knee and Islam went to the ground with him and got him in a head arm choke. But leading up to that point, it wasn't as one-sided as people think it was. In the first round, Oliveira actually didn't look that bad at all. He had good pressure, landed good strikes when he was adding punches together, and he did a good job within the clinch, landing big powerful knees and elbows. The problem came from when Oliveira would attempt his flashy weird strikes like the flying knee, or when he would openly go to the ground and try and submit Islam off his back. That's where he messed up. Islam is a world Sambo champion. He knows how to use his balance and size to put himself in good position and be cautious of the submission. You see this in the Oliveira and Dariush fight as well, where Oliveira clinches up with Dariush, then tries to go for the takedown but just ends up on his back. It's not a terrible position to be in if you're Oliveira, because he does land good elbows and up kicks when on his back, but when facing someone like Islam, that's a position you don't want to be in for a long time. There were a lot of moments in the first fight where Islam didn't take advantage of the ground and pound, and I think this is why Oliveira might have more success in the second fight than he did in the first fight. Islam needs the takedown to beat Oliveira. He needs the clinch game to work. He needs to use the inside trip in order to take Oliveira down, and honestly, if Oliveira tries to clinch up with Islam again and go on his back, he basically will give Islam the takedown. I think Oliveira's game plan needs to be more focused on the feet and use all elements of his striking to break down Islam. Use the close quarters boxing to make it a dirty fight. Use the elbows and the knees in the clinch game to bloody up Islam and make him work for the takedown. Don't just rely on going on your back. Don't let Islam have the takedown, because the judges will easily give it to Islam if Oliveira does that. Don't forget, Oliveira can take a punch. Yes, Islam does have power and can strike, but I don't think he can knock out Oliveira. I think Oliveira performs best when it is a dogfight. If you watch the Michael Chandler fight, the Poirier fight, the Gaethje fight, and Dariush fight, they are all heavy interactions. A lot of power punches are thrown and a lot of dirty clinches. And those were the fights that Oliveira looked great in. With all that being said, Islam is still a great wrestler who has tremendous grappling. The way Islam knows where to grab and distribute his weight is a big reason on why he is the champ. Islam has a lot of grit, and if you go back and watch the Volk fight, Islam endured a lot of pain and ate a lot of shots by Volk. Islam could easily do what he did against Oliveira again the first time. Mix up the takedowns against the cage and in the middle of the cage. Confuse Oliveira on when you're going in for the takedown and when you're in the clinch game. Throw the elbows, land the knees, and if you're in the guard of Oliveira, don't be afraid to go for the submission. Islam is easily a great submission artist. He's a world Sambo champ. He can do those things. Oliveira is more dangerous when he is on your back than when he is on his own back. I imagine Islam will mainly shoot for the takedown when him and Charles are tied up against the cage, or when Charles initiates the clinch game. If I had to pick who I think would win, I would favor Charles Oliveira this time. I think Oliveira made a lot of mistakes in the first fight with Islam that he cleaned up and fixed in the Beneil Dariush fight. Charles Oliveira can't be going for the flying knees or the wild shots to hopefully stun Islam. You have to stay technical and try and drag out Islam to the later rounds to break him down. If you are Charles, you need to use the dirty boxing to hurt Islam and try to stay off your back. Charles will have much more success on the ground if he takes the back of Islam rather than pulling guard and laying on his own back. I'm predicting Oliveira to win in the 3rd or 4th round by knockout. I think Islam showed a lot of vulnerability against Volk and showed that he is human and there is a way to beat him. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video.